Hi guys, welcome. I'm Mrs. Mack and I'm here to read with you another story tonight. And afterwards we're gonna play a fun activity together. So make sure you have your fairy wands. If you don't have fairy wands, I think a lightsaber will do just well to help us capture those stars at the end. The name of this story is called The Moonlight Tooth Fairy. Has a tooth fairy ever come and visited you yet? Have you lost any teeth? If you have, how many have you lost? That's a lot of teeth. Oh my goodness. And if you haven't lost one yet, don't worry, it's gonna happen. And then maybe the Moonlight Tooth Fairy will come and visit you. Let's get started, shall we? The Moonlight Tooth Fairy. The Moonlight Tooth Fairy. Twinkle was a tooth fairy. Every night she flew from house to house, collecting the teeth that children had left under their pillows. Each time she took a tooth, she slipped a shiny coin in its place. Before she flew away, she always whispered, "Sweet dreams." Twinkle loved to make people happy. I'm having a text to self with Twinkle because I like to make people happy too. But Twinkle often felt lonely. She saw sisters sharing bedrooms. She saw friends sleeping over. She saw moonlit moths playing together. I wish I had a friend too, she thought. One night, Twinkle came to Abigail's house. She flew in the open window and tiptoed onto Abigail's pillow. Carefully, Twinkle reached for Abigail's tooth and put it in her tooth fairy pouch. She pulled out a shiny coin. But suddenly, Twinkle felt that somebody was watching her. Slowly, she turned around. A fairy face was staring at her in the moonlight. Silly me, thought Twinkle. It's only a picture. Then she noticed that there were fairies everywhere. Twinkle was so amazed that she didn't look where she was flying. If she didn't look where she was flying, what do you infer she's gonna do? Oh my goodness, that's a good idea. I think that too. Ouch! Twinkle bumped into a bookshelf and dropped the coin. It clattered onto the floor and rolled behind the cupboard. The noise awoke Abigail. Twinkle knew that the tooth fairy should never be seen. With a flit of her wings, she darted behind the curtain. Do you infer she's going to wake up Abigail? Do you think Abigail's going to find her? I kind of hope so. Abigail sat up in bed and rubbed her sleepy eyes. Twinkle peeped out from behind the curtain. She watched Abigail put her hand under her pillow. The tooth was gone, but there was nothing in its place. Poor Abigail, thought Twinkle. If only I had another coin. But her pouch was empty. Abigail's eyes filled with tears. Maybe the tooth fairy thinks I haven't been good, she said. Oh no, Twinkle cried out. That's not true. What would you do if you were Twinkle and you knew that she wasn't supposed to see you, but yet you saw your little friend and she was crying? How would you solve that problem? Tell the person that you live with. That's a great idea. I would definitely want to solve this problem because I could not leave somebody that sad. Abigail spotted Twinkle and gasped with amazement. Oh dear, thought Twinkle. Now I've broken the tooth fairy rule. Twinkle knew she had been seen, so she fluttered over to the bed and she gave Abigail a tiny hanky. Do you know what a hanky is? It's kind kind of like a tissue that's a cloth, so you could reuse it. You know how you take a Kleenex and you throw it in the trash? Well, a hanky is like a little piece of material or cloth, and you just put it in your pocket when you're done with it. Sounds a little kind of gross, but actually they were used a long time ago. My grandpa always carried a hanky with him. "I'm sorry, Abigail," she whispered. "I lost your coin." Abigail gazed at the moonlight, glistening on the fairies' silver wings, and smiled. "Am I dreaming?" she asked. "No, you're not dreaming," laughed Twinkle. Twinkle explained what had happened. She watched Abigail gazing at her wings, and she had an idea. "Would you like me to give you a wish instead of a coin?" Abigail's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Oh, yes, please. That's something that I've always wished for," she said shyly. "Yes," said Twinkle. Now let's go back in the story. Do you remember what Abigail had all over her room that might have given us an idea of what maybe her wish might be? Were there fairies all over her room? What do you infer her wish is going to be? I infer that she's going to wish to be a fairy, just like Twinkle. "I wish to be a fairy, just like you." Twinkle waved magic into the room, and suddenly Abigail felt herself shrinking. Her pajamas turned into a beautiful dress made of petals, and little rosebuds blossomed in her hair. Something tickled her shoulders. "Look," she cried, "I'm growing wings." Sure enough, Abigail was soon as tiny as Twinkle, with a matching pair of shimmering wings. Gently, Abigail opened her wings and gave them a flutter. "Will you teach me how to fly?" she asked. "It's easy," said Twinkle. "Hold my hand." And up they rose. Twinkle and Abigail flew into the mirror so Abigail could admire her new wings. Then Twinkle led Abigail out into the moonlit yard. Twinkle and Abigail flew high and low. They danced in and out of trees and fluttered from flower to flower. "Look at me!" cried Abigail as she shimmered the starry pond. They swooped and looped and soared. "I love being a fairy," Abigail said. "It's much more fun with two," laughed Twinkle happily. At last, she had a real friend of her own. Soon it was time for Abigail to go back to being a little girl. "Thank you for making my wish come true," she said to Twinkle. "You've made my wish come true too," replied Twinkle. "Come back soon," said Abigail with a sleepy yawn. I bet all that flying made her tired. Twinkle promised. "Just put your next lost tooth in this tooth fairy pouch, and I'll be back as quick as the moths in the moonlight," she said. And as she flew away, she whispered, "Sweet dreams, my fairy friend." And that's the end of the story. Did you like that? I love that they solved their problem. That our little Twinkle, she lost the coin to give to Abigail, and and Abigail was devastated by that. And so, and poor little Twinkle also needed a friend. So they compromised, and instead of her getting the little coin, they got a wish. She got a wish instead, and that made them both happy. Abigail got to be a fairy, and Twinkle got to have a friend. I love that story. Ariel and I are going to have a star catching contest, and I'll see you in a minute. It'll be fun. Bye. Hi guys, we are back, and this time I brought my fairy catching expert, Ariel.
Hey everybody.
And for those of you that don't know, Ariel is Mrs. Mac's daughter. Yay!
It's me.
So you are going to choose a side. You are either going to be Team Mac or Team
Ariel.
Ariel. And we are going to try to see who can capture the most fairy stars to save the fairies' magic. Is that how that goes? Does she turn a color or something?
Our wands turn a color.
Okay. So choose your player. Why do I have a feeling that everybody's choosing Team Ariel? Try to capture, these little stars are going to project onto the walls, and Ariel and I are going to capture them with our wands, and we'll see who will get the highest color. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going on hard mode.
Hard mode.
Okay, so to
So-
get the stars,
Okay.
we have to push this button.
Okay.
If we miss, it makes that sound.
So
Okay.
that's the bad sound.
We don't want that
Okay,
sound.
we don't want that sound, kids, okay? We want it to make the happy sound.
Make sure your wand is pointed, because the lights, make sure your wand is pointed like the exact direction, otherwise you won't get the star.
Yes,
Even
ma'am.
if you're pointing at it.
Okay.
Okay.
So kids at home, make sure you have a pretend button on yours, and
Like a boy?
make sure you push that when you see a star pop up.
Okay.
Okay, Team Ariel and Team Mac, let's get this show on the road.
Okay, that's the music. Not yet,
Oh,
not yet.
oh.
Get ready, it's gonna
Okay.
go fast. Oh, you gotta be aware.
Where do they go?
Watch the thing. Oh,
Oh,
oh.
oh, I got one. Oh,
Ah.
where do they all? Oh, wait.
Okay, this is the break. This is the break. We
Okay.
have 10 rounds.
Oh, we have 10
Oh, God,
rounds.
it's back. It's back.
Oh, gosh.
Ooh, we're the same color.
Okay, Grancy, don't make people sick. Don't turn
Okay.
it too fast. Just kind of stand back.
All right, can I? Maybe we should have done easy.
Oh. Oh, that's a bad sound. Okay.
Oh, my knee's cracking. Ooh.
Oh. Oh, goodness.
Okay, we got a break. Same color. Here we go. Woo!
Oh, I'm getting the hang of this.
We're the same color. We're twins.
That's because we're mother-daughter. We're too similar. Come on, kids, help me at home. Get those stars. Oh my gosh. Oh. What are you doing? Oh. I think we should put it on the floor.
Oh. What happened? We both got rainbow. We both win.
Oh, we're rainbow. We're level 10. That means we both won. So whether you chose Team Ariel or Team Mac, look at us.
Yay!
All right, let me turn this back on to say goodbye. That was a good workout. Whew. All right, guys, thanks for playing. Ariel, thank you for joining me. Boom, boom, boom.
Goodbye.
Bye.